Hi, I'm Jim Grundy from Grundy Insurance, here with Hot Rod Madness, and I've got Brass Car Madness.
Mr. Jim Grundy, how are you, sir?
Tim, it's nice to see you today.
Oh, it's an honor to be here. Look at this. We're surrounded by brass, man.
We're surrounded by Nationals, Tim.
Nationals.
National is a featured mark here at the concourse this year, and there's about 20 Nationals in existence, and we have 9 of the 20, so we have almost 50% of the cars in the world right here under this tent today.
All right, so do you know where the other ones may be? I mean, I'm sure they're scattered all over the world. But
they're as far away as Australia.
Okay.
And there's some West Coast cars, but we got some good ones here today. The oldest car we got is this red one over here to our left.
Okay.
That's a 1908 car. It's completely original. It's one of the first Nationals that had a very famous T-head engine that National produced. And that car will drive down the road, Tim, 50, 60 miles an hour comfortably all day long from 1908.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. And what do we have here? What is this?
Now, this car is a 1912 National, exactly like the one that won the 1912 Indianapolis 500.
Wow, how about that?
It's got a 500 cubic inch engine, 4 cylinders, 75 horsepower, and this car will go 100 miles an hour if you've got the nerve to ride in it.
Man. Yeah, because you ain't buckled up. There ain't a whole lot of safety going on here, so you could imagine what them drivers went through back in 1912, right?
These drivers were happier that they couldn't be buckled in because they'd roll these things. The best thing that could happen is they'd get thrown clear.
Yeah, I guess you're wishing to be thrown completely clear of it if you start rolling. Wow, number 11.
And as you can tell, this might have a bark.
Yeah,
with
I
its
see
exhaust system on the side, right?
I can imagine getting up next to that with your leg, after running this thing a while.
What do you think? Shall we see if we can fire it up?
Man, that'd be wonderful. I'd love to hear it run.
Let's
give it a try, sir. Very distinctive sounds there. And
when I brought this car home for the first time, my kids cheered, my wife cried.
How long have you owned it?
20 years.
20 years, okay.
20 years. We've raced it in many of the very vintage races around the country, and I'm very proud of the fact that this car has never lost a race.
Man, lots of fun, right? What type of transmission you got going on here?
It's just a 3-speed, very high-end geared transmission. Okay. It doesn't want to go on the roads. It wants to get out and go, and this car will spin the tires in all 3 gears.
You can tell he has fun with it. And how many pedals are we operating? 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 2 shifter knobs here. You got some gauges up here. Wow, what a ride, man.
Actually, I would need you if I was racing this car because you need a mechanician by your side. See this big pump here?
Yeah, what does that do?
Fuel pressure.
Fuel pressure.
So when you're coming out of the corner, you're pumping like mad, leaning into the turn, because I need all the fuel I can get. The intakes on this thing are this big around.
Wow.
The valves are 3-inch valves. It sucks some fuel through there.
Wow.
So I need somebody by my side, leaning their weight into the corner and pumping that pressure the whole time.
Man, the technology, people, back then was just crazy. It was.
Truth is, it was primitive.
Yeah.
So, Tim, this car is from 1908. If you bought this car in 1908, you paid about $3,500 for it.
Oh.
In other words, you were styling when a T model was $400, right?
Boy, yeah.
This was a special car, right? Plenty of horsepower, plenty of styling, 7-passenger touring car.
7-passenger, really?
Yeah, it's got little jump
Look at
seats in the back here.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, amazing how many folks you can pack into these things. Yeah, I saw that in some of the other vehicles too. You can actually get a lot of people in some of these.
Yeah. And these are great fun cars to drive.
And from what I understand, some of them are very smooth on them old dirt roads back then.
Well, they were smooth because they didn't go very fast.
Yeah, okay.
We drive all these cars faster today than they ever drove them in the day.
Yeah, I guess that does make a difference, right?
Yeah, it sure does.
Lots of brass once again on this one. Love the horn. Does that work? Yeah.
That's all I can get
Yeah,
out of
that's it. Yes. Hey, man, for his age, that's pretty good.
Well,
not bad.
This car's 110 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
How do you think you're going to look at 110
Wow,
years
oh,
old,
man.
Tim? We'll have to do a little restoration on
Yeah.
you when you get that age.
Yeah, I'll probably need some, man, because I'm gonna keep showing you these rides just as much as I can. This stuff needs to be documented, and hopefully these will never go away. I mean,
We need to preserve them, and we need to keep them on the road.
Yeah,
And we need to teach the next generation about them.
Yep,
This is a special breed of cars.
more than ever, it's always the people behind these rides. The people keep them going, such as you.
You said it, buddy. I'm glad you appreciate it.